Well, thank you for joining us on this Monday. Simone Thomas is out in the weather garden. And Simone, I am so jealous because it is a beautiful day. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, after a rainy conclusion to the weekend yesterday, the sun is shining today. Now, I'm out in the shade, so it is a little bit cooler, but if you're able to step directly in the sunlight, you've got a beautiful afternoon ahead of you. Temperatures right around what we consider average for this time of year, the end of January. Looking to peak in the lower 50s this afternoon, but we're tracking middle to upper 40s right now. A few places brushing that 50-degree mark in central Arkansas, like Hot Springs and Arkadelphia. 47 right now in the capital city, 48 in Pine Bluff. Camden to our south is leading the charge up to 54 degrees. Now again, as we continue through the rest of this afternoon, looking to warm up to more of those lower, maybe even some middle 50s on the board across the state. And you see that sunshine is holding on throughout the day. So here are those highs across the state. A good afternoon to get outside and take advantage of the sunshine. And we're getting even warmer than this week. Stick around for your 7-day outlook. All the details are on the way.
All right, Simone, thank you. Well, over the weekend, President Trump ousted at least 15 independent inspectors general. The watchdog serves to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. Weijia Zhang has the developing story.
Mark Lee Greenblatt served as the Inspector General for the Department of Interior until late Friday night, when President Trump fired him, along with more than a dozen other IGs.
This is absolutely unprecedented. There is nothing that's ever happened remotely like this.
Greenblatt, who Trump appointed during his first term, worries about who could replace him. IGs are meant to be nonpartisan watchdogs who root out corruption and fraud.
Key is that our reports have credibility because we're independent. If all of a sudden, if you remove that independence, so what value does that report have?
California Senator Adam Schiff says Trump broke the law because he did not give Congress the required 30-day notice.
The American people, if we don't have good and independent inspector generals, are going to see the swamp refill.
But Republicans like Senator Lindsey Graham were quick to defend the president.
Get new people. He feels like the government hasn't worked very well for the American people. These watchdog folks did a pretty lousy job.
Just 1 week into his second term, Trump has shut down DEI programs across the government, removed at least 20 State Department officials in leadership roles, and 160 staffers with the National Security Council were sent home while the administration reviews staffing.
It's just simply stunning in its scope and in its depth and in its speed. There's simply never been an administration, I think, in American history that has tried to do so much so fast.
Professor Don Kettle has studied the management of the U.S. government for 45 years.
What are the guardrails here that could stop President Trump?
And they're essentially challenging Congress to oppose what it is they're doing or to try to stop it, which Congress could do, but which Congress doesn't seem to have any inkling about doing.
This week, much of Washington will have eyes on 3 of Trump's most controversial picks to fill his cabinet. Senate confirmation hearings are scheduled for his nominees for the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, for Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and FBI Director Kash Patel. Those are 3 fierce loyalists who have some prickly records to defend. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Miami.
Well, now to a TV 11 crime alert. A man is behind bars in Jefferson County, accused as the gunman in a deadly weekend shooting. Pine Bluff police reports receiving a shots fired call late Sunday night. After arriving to the scene, they found Corterius Williams dead. Hours later, police arrested 19-year-old Lamarion White, connecting him to the shooting. He's charged with capital murder. Turning now to Little Rock, where a man is also behind bars for a different shooting death. LRPD making the arrest of Rahim Muhammad Saturday. He's charged with capital murder for the death of Jarek Holden. He was found dead with multiple bullet wounds this weekend. Police say the investigation is ongoing. Well, we're nearing the end of week 2 in the Jefferson County shutdown. For employees, that means going longer without being paid. There's another meeting tonight to discuss a spending resolution. Maya Ellison refreshes you on the timeline leading up to now.
And who is responsible constitutionally for the budgets?
The quorum court that has the duty to appropriate money in the county. 13 days, that's how long it's been as Jefferson County quorum court officials work to pass the 2025 budget. Members of the community and county officials have since gotten involved in the conversation, sitting through hour-long meetings just to be aware of what's going on inside these doors.
I will consider having another meeting, but if it is to try to pass another illegal budget, if it is to pass something that has already been deemed illegal, something that I have vetoed, no.
But as they wait for the passage of this year's budget, there's much more at stake.
I don't want to see anyone lose their job. I don't want to see anyone don't get paid. Because if you work, you need to get paid. Just as simple as that.
A government shutdown has taken place, leaving quorum court officials frustrated as they are left without their paychecks. Multiple departments are in need of an approved budget, such as the sheriff's office and more.
People to work 911. It's hard to find people to come out in the snow. It's hard to find people to work on holidays and leave their children. And we got to come here, all this nonsense. I am pissed.
And county officials are not just frustrated, but also concerned.
The proposed budget by Gerald Robinson includes a $25,000 pay cut for me personally. Like many of my colleagues, I simply couldn't afford to stay in a job that I love if this cut goes through.
Today, the Arkansas FOIA Task Force will conduct a review for Senate Bill 12. It aims to impose a more transparent process whenever district lines are being drawn. The state's redistricting process happens every 10 years. Together, the governor, attorney general, and secretary of state preside over the task. Senate Bill 12, however, calls for that governing body to adhere to the Freedom of Information Act. The FOIA Task Force will decide on their support toward the body of law. In a matter of hours, the University of Central Arkansas will share progress on its goal to address pilot shortages. UCA is partnering with the city of Conway and aviation providers to create an aviation academy. We'll have a team at today's ceremony. You can expect that new video and sound in our later newscasts. A pair of Arkansas game developers are making new progress in their career. We have their story ahead at 12:18.